What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to the Prophecy Misfits Podcast. Why is that replaying? That's not supposed to be happening. We'll just keep it going again. Why not? I've got things so discombobulated over here. We'll talk about that in just a second. But welcome in. Thank you guys for joining me. This is the Prophecy Misfits Podcast. This is episode 272. Woo-hoo! Rumsfeld Flashback. And we'll be going over a little bit regarding the auditing of the Pentagon and the last time that went down in history and stuff. Yeah, you'll see when we get there. Tonight's just going to be kind of just a relaxed hangout type of thing. I got some stuff here we'll talk about. Nothing like in depth or crazy or anything like that. Just kind of relaxed and stuff like that. So basically, what's been going on is I've kind of told you guys the past few weeks that I've been dealing with a whole bunch of tech stuff, trying to get things set up for the conference and whatnot. And so the last night, this week has been a battle, to say the least. I've really been just spending most of my time trying to figure out getting all this stuff working and all that type of stuff. And last night, this was 3 weeks of trying to just search online, figure things out. This was 60 emails to tech support, back and forth, trying to figure things out. Last night, I managed to get one of the IT guys on, and he did a remote session where from his computer he comes into mine and starts, messing with things, trying to figure it out. We figured it out. We finally got it fixed. We got it figured out. Everything is ready, up and running, working to go for the conference. And so, it's just been a project trying to get this thing set up, but we got it set up. It's good to go. And so, yes, it's going to be good stuff for the shindig and all that type of stuff. So that's something that I've been working on. So because of all that time trying to get it out, I haven't been able to dig into things for tonight. So I just thought we would just go over some stuff and kind of do like a relaxed show. So it's going to be some stuff like that. What is it? Let's see here. Garrett, I always thought it sounded funny. This doesn't have anything to do with my sound. I had to change mics for this thing to work, but this doesn't have to do with my sound. This has to do with being able to get everybody else's sound that's going to be speaking at the conference coming through and be able to run the entire show. I had to have this thing set up. So this didn't have to do with my sound, which that was another thing on top of it because I had to change mics in order to get it to work. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes with it, but we got it working. It's good to go. Everything will be able to run. So praise the Lord for that. So, so that's what's been going on. I'm tired. It's been a long thing. I've just been stressed out. It's been crazy trying to figure this out, but we got it good. So, all right, let's see what y'all are up to. Let's see how y'all are doing in the chat. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to start here. I'm going to be biased. Deal with it. My mom. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. glad to have you here, and hopefully you are doing good today. So we got Patter as well. Good to see you, Patter. Thanks for being here. Yes, and hopefully you had a good week. It is Saturday, right? Yeah, it is Saturday. It's crazy. It's been a crazy week. Been a crazy week. So, not of this world. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Please be nice to my tools. They do their best, and I try to keep them shiny. Doesn't mean they're not dull, though. No, I'm just kidding. Love my tools. Elena Victory, good to see you. Now watch, we won't be here. Hey, it's fine with me. That's fine with me. Let's get on out of here. I'm ready to go home. Patrick, good to see you, Patrick. Hopefully you're feeling better, man. I heard you had the stomach flu. Spencer's dealing with that too. He said it's the most horrific flu he's ever had in his life. So sounds like maybe you guys got the same thing going on. So, but hopefully you're feeling better. Jojo by his grace is here as well. Good to see you, Jojo. Thanks for being here, and hopefully you're doing all right. We got Rick Whitaker as well. Good to see you, Rick, and hopefully you had a good week, and glad to have you here. We got Misfit Teen. Is that Peanut the Pug in a stroller? What on earth? Good to see you, Tina. Hopefully you and the Peanut there are doing good. So good to see you. Garrett, what's up, man? Hopefully you're doing all right. Thanks for being here. We got Jellyfish as well. I'm glad you're here, and hopefully you had a good week. Thanks for spending your Saturday here. Let's see. We got Ashley Fortney. Hit the like button. Yes. hit the like button, smite thy like button. As Spencer would say, or the lizard people will get you. Good to see you, Ashley. Thanks for being here. We got Misfit Peanut is here as well. The Peanut Gallery, present and accounted for. Good to see you. We got Victoria. Good to see you, Victoria. And hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you had a good week with all that. Let's see. We got Cheryl Vogel. What's going on, Cheryl? Good to see you. Did you see Athey Creek? No, I did not. I was busy with what I was just explaining. So no, I did not see it. Let's see. We got Terry Kissamore. Good to see you, Terry. Thanks for being here. Glad you are here, and hopefully you are doing well tonight. Let's see. We got Pam as well. Thankful everything is now working. Yes, me too, Pam. Thank you. It's like I was saying, there's a weight off my shoulders now, because that was really becoming a burden, because I had to get that working. Mary Lewis, good to see you, Mary. Can't wait for all the shindig. Telling my friends, good. Yes. Invite them and make it a shindig of the shindig. I don't know. Best I got. Let's see. We got Deboni Ray. Good to see you. Hello, all my misfits. Gotta love the Fitsbear. Yes, good old Fitz. Good Fitz. You got the doggo in the picture. Good doggo. Gotta love it. Let's see, Linda. Good to see you, Linda. Got to make sure the audio works. That seems to be the main issue with everyone. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to explain it, because a lot of people are going to tune out. But yeah, it's working though, and it's going to be working very, very well from here on out. So good to see you. Yeah, I'll be changing streaming platforms too. So there's going to be some changes starting Tuesday. Some very good changes. So good stuff. Joseph Pena, Jalapena. What's up, Jalapena? Good to see you. I get it now, Zach. Okay. Good to see you, man. Eternity, one day at a time. Yes, good to see you, Eternity. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. Who do we got? We got Allison. What's going on? Good to see ya, Allison. Glad you are here. And yes, I do believe Mystery Babylon is Mystery Religions. It's Mystery Religion of Babylon the Great. We got to make sure we keep that comma in there, because the name is Babylon the Great. So that's always the confusion with all that. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Revelation 17. Yeah, just a little sneak peek. That's what I'll be talking about at the shindig. So good stuff. Let's see. Melody Muncie. Good to see you from the Evergreen State of Washington. Well, good to see you, Melanie. Thanks for being here. Or Melody. My bad. I apologize. Should know better. In his image, Katie is here as well. Good to see you, Katie. Perhaps Trump's data center in North Phoenix. Massive construction started about 3 years ago. Taiwanese. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of building going on. In a lot of different places right now. I hope people are ready for that. Amanda Stumpf is here as well. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. If I don't pick you out, it's not that I like you. It's just we got some stuff to talk about, and we're going to have a good time doing it. So if I can get back to where I need to be. Housekeeping.
Don't think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, so for housekeeping, usual spiel, if you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That's why we do this. That is the whole point of this. If we're not sharing the gospel, if we're not leading people to Jesus, then we're doing something wrong. So if you guys can like, share, subscribe, it does help reach people who are lost, have questions, and ultimately need Jesus Christ. So if you guys can go ahead and like, share, subscribe, it will certainly help. Also follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, we'll be backup live streaming on Rumble. Of course, we're live streaming to YouTube, Rumble, and the website all at the same time. But still, Rumble's the backup, Odyssey's the backup to the backup, and then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up as we go throughout the week and whatnot. Of course, the best place to stay up to date, though, is the WretchedWatchmen.com website. That's your one-stop shop for all your questions, announcements, video, latest podcast, video series, events, everything like that. That's the place to make sure you check out, because that is the place where it'll all be and the most updated stuff. So make sure you guys go ahead and bookmark that page as well. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel and want to do, I got donation links down below, CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. You guys are the ones that allow this to work. You guys are the ones that make this run. So thank you guys for your support. This channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, anything like that. It runs solely off of your guys' donations. So those links are below if you would, if the Lord leads you to support this. And thank you guys for all your support and your prayers, encouragement, and everything like that. I truly appreciate it, especially after a week like this. Getting some kind words and encouragement is nice. Or I'm praying for you. It's like, thank you. I definitely needed that. So good stuff. Thank you guys. All right, let's go ahead and start rolling on this. If you guys have questions, feel free to throw them into the chat. Make sure you guys put question in all caps so my mods, my tools, the toolbox can see those and they can throw them in there for me. Since this is just kind of relaxed and whatnot, we're probably just going to go ahead and answer questions here and there. I'll be pulling up some chat and stuff like that. We'll just kind of have a fun time tonight. I need to pull this one out though. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got stuff all out of whack. All right, move that over. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Oh, might as well do this too. One last thing. Just because I made mention of it. The If We're Still Here Bible Prophecy Shindig. Free online, March 15th. It's going to be a good time. 100% free. Don't have to register. Don't have to go to a special website. Don't have to sign up for anything. Just show up to the YouTube page or the WretchedWatchmen.com website, and it will be there live streaming for you. For anybody. Again, I'm encouraging people to throw events at their house or set events up at the church so everybody can watch and kind of fellowship together live. Of course, we'll have the live chat so you can be talking with other people in the chat as well. But yeah, JB Hickson, JD Farag, David Bowen, Jeff Solwold, John Prescott, Toby Stevens, and myself. It's going to be a great time. So yeah, make sure you guys mark that on your calendar. If we're still here, of course, it's going to be a good time. So all right, Saturday means we're going to take a look at what's going on with the Wretched Weather Report. Let's do it.
Everybody got their fancy hats? Let's go!
All right, so the Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we just keep track of the trends of what's going on with storms and earthquakes and volcanoes and all that type of stuff. We understand that these are part of the birth pains. They're going to increase in size and frequency as we get closer and into the day of the Lord. So we just keep track of what's going on. Again, I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a proctologist. I'm not a podiatrist either. So I just kind of keep track of what's going on with all this stuff. And so this past week with earthquakes, 5.5 magnitude and up, we got a 5.5 in southeast, which was southeast of the Loyalty Islands. We got a 5.9 in Tobelo, Indonesia. Then there's a 5.7 in the West Chile Rise, 5.5 in Ternate, Indonesia. Then there's a 5.6 in Nueva Concesión, Guatemala. And then there's a 5.8 in the West Island, Coco Islands. There was a 6.0 in Ohanua, Tonga. And then just not too long ago, there was a big one. It was initially registered as an 8, but it was reduced to a 7.6. Georgetown, Cayman Islands. There's been a tsunami warning issued to Puerto Rico and another place I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's been some numerous tsunami warnings issued. Apparently people in Cayman Islands, even though it was so big, they said there was some light shaking, but it wasn't anything like super bad. So it was probably I think it's, if they're closer to the surface, they're not as, I think so. I don't remember. Again, I'm not, that's not my thing, but they didn't feel it very much, but there is tsunami warning. So that was a big one that just happened not too long ago. Then, as far as volcanoes, we got 44 volcanoes actively erupting, which is down 2 from last week. We're still in the 44 to 48 range, though, so no movement out of the usual spot. We got 6 in North America, which is down 1, 6 in South America, 1 in Europe, 3 in Antarctica, 4 in Africa, 16 in Asia, which is down 1, and then 8 in Oceania. So -1 equals -2, and so that's how we reduce by 2. Schoolhouse Rock. You guys remember the Schoolhouse Rock? I used to love Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah, that was some good stuff. My favorite, which is weird, my favorite Schoolhouse Rock was the math one, where, they go through the different things with math, but yet math is the thing that I can't do. It's fascinating how that works. It's one of my favorite ones. I don't know. But yeah, Schoolhouse Rock was some good stuff. There's got to be some Schoolhouse Rocks up in here. There's got to be some. Nobody? Really? Crazy. That's crazy. Oh, Lori hated Schoolhouse? Oh, man. That's disappointing. I sing the Schoolhouse Rock song. Yeah, Allison knows what's up. Yeah, good stuff. Pena knows what's up too. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Paula, I'm just a bill. Yeah. Let's not get into that, shall we? All right. Let's go ahead and move into the first thing that we got going on here. So, yeah. So the Pentagon audit stuff. So we know what's going on with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. So just in case you weren't aware, Lori said she didn't know. So maybe there's some other people that don't know. Vivek Ramaswamy was basically kicked out a couple weeks ago of the Doge department because he went on the big tirade regarding the H-1B visas, calling white Americans stupid and lazy and all that type of stuff. So they basically kind of kicked him out. Vivek is going to go running for like governor, Senate, or something like that in another state. So have fun with that. But he's still got all the connections to George Soros and China and mRNA and all that stuff. So he's still involved in all that stuff. I think that's just more of a theater project in that situation. But the Doge situation is they're going around and supposedly they're gaining everybody's they're getting all the getting access to everybody's data, all the different departments, as well as doing a whole bunch of firings and all that type of jazz. But the thing that's going on right now is basically we don't know who the team is. They're keeping it hidden. They said that they're not required, even though these are unelected people going in there and gaining access to all your data, firing people and doing all this type of stuff. They're saying they don't have to tell you who they are. The rumor is Elon Musk's team is a bunch of 19, 20, 21, and 22-year-olds going in and doing all this stuff, which is fascinating, to say the least. But yeah, we don't know who it is. We don't know who the team is. We don't know what's going on, but we do know that they're gaining access to everybody's data. So that's always fun. But one of the things is Trump said, okay, now I want you to do the Pentagon and the Department of Education. So Trump says Doge will probe Pentagon, Department of Education. It says Trump on Friday revealed the Pentagon and the U.S. Department of Education will be targets of Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. The president said during a press conference alongside Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. He was in, oh man, now I got Ichiban in my head. If you know what Ichiban is, 5 points for you. Shigeru Ishiba. He has instructed Musk to take a look at both agencies. Trump explained his administration will assess tremendous amounts of money being allocated towards things which have no value. And so that's always one of those situations where everything is being done behind closed doors. The only quote unquote transparency that we're getting is whatever they choose to tell us, whether it's truthful or not. Unfortunately, just like the left, where people on the left just go, they're right, and then people on the wrong go, they're always lying, the same thing's going on the right. Whenever Musk says something, everybody on the right goes, well, it's our guy, so he's right. And then everybody on the left is going, well, no, they're lying about everything. So it's the same thing that happens on both sides, even though each person on each side doesn't want to admit that they're doing the exact same thing that they're doing for the other people. We don't know if Musk is what he's saying is true. We don't know if anything that he's saying is true, if there's actual true transparency, especially since they're doing things that they're doing hidden. Everything that they're doing is hidden. And so who's the team? Well, we don't know. They're not going to tell us. What data are they collecting? Well, we don't know. They're not going to tell us. The whole situation where they're already lying to us about the U.S. aid situation, which we'll get to that a little bit later. But you look at the U.S. aid situation, they said they shut it down. No, they didn't. They just merged it back into the State Department, fired a whole bunch of people, and they're going to keep it running. And again, the firing of people, or now they're offering all this severance pay, like 8 months severance for people to just willingly quit, which apparently from the numbers we have, whether they're true or not, is a significant amount of people. They're all going to be replaced with AI and whatnot. This has nothing to do with actually diminishing government rule and finance and all this stuff. No, this has to do with just reorganizing and restructuring to create the technocratic rule that's going on. And so that's what this really is about. But what I do want to point out, which I think is interesting, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just think it's interesting. Do you guys remember what happened the last time they audited the Pentagon? Do you guys remember what happened? It wasn't good. Let's do a flashback to Mr. Rumsfeld about what happened the last time that they did an audit, shall we?
Are, as they say, tangled in our anchor chain. Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions. We cannot share information from floor to floor in this building because it's stored on dozens of different technological systems that are inaccessible or incompatible.
September 10th, 2001. Now, the audit happened a year before, but when he went out and announced it like that for the first time, the next day we had 9/11. Now, this is one of those things, again, where people, it's highly debated, but if you've actually spent any time, if you've actually taken the time to look, which there's been some people, but a lot of people haven't, you know that 9/11 was a orchestrated false flag event. That's what it was. It was an orchestrated false flag event. They had it cooked up, ready to go. It involved both the CIA and the Mossad to get it done, and they did it. And it wasn't just to cover up the trillions of dollars that just went missing. There's a lot more to it, obviously, when it comes to the war on terror, when it comes to the whole Middle East structure system that we have today, when it goes to taking out certain people in those buildings, when it has to go with policies like the Patriot Act and all the other things connected to it. There's a whole host of reasons. We're not going to do a whole 9/11 show, obviously. But there was definitely a lot that happened there. But I just find it interesting that the last time that the Pentagon was indeed audited, that situation happened. Plus, we know with all the things that we're seeing happening right now that there is a extremely high chance of some type of false flag happening. So I just want to put that out there. This isn't a prediction. This isn't, the Lord told me. I'm not Paula White. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But there's none of that going on. I just want to say, when we take a step back and look at everything that's going on, we are definitely in a time right now where the false flag events, or event, if they so choose to pull one of those big ones off, is very much on the table. This is a highly volatile situation with everything that's going on right now. So don't put it past them. Don't put it past them. That's the best warning that I can give you when it comes to this. And in case you guys didn't know, Ichiban is lipstick for men. Joey did that in the Friends. So if you're looking for some Ichiban, go look next to the phalanges and you'll find them there as well. So just in case you didn't know. Yeah, gotta have a little fun, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and keep moving a little bit here. And move into the USAID situation. So I did a breakdown on the USAID merger already on Tuesday. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. I break it down and show, that it wasn't actually shut down. They lied to you. Shocking, right? The politicians lied to you. I know, again, there's still a whole bunch of people. Well, Trump doesn't lie. It's just not possible. But he lied to you. That's just how it goes. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this, because I always find this fascinating. So Elon Musk apparently is talking about USAID as this giant woke Democrat, they're out there funding terrorism organization. But did you know the USAID signed off on $1 million in contracts for Elon Musk's Starlink terminal in last year? Yeah, that was for the Ukraine war. Interesting, right? Elon Musk Oh my gosh. Elon Musk wants to bring down USAID, calling it a criminal agency in his X platform, but he's also done business with it. Over the last 4 years, the U.S. government's humanitarian and development arm has spent as much as $500,000 in signed contracts worth up to $1 million for SpaceX Starlink terminals. Federal contract records show, bringing them to Zimbabwe and South Africa, the country where Musk was born. Its most significant partnership, though, was USAID working with SpaceX to send 5,000 Starlink terminals worth some $3 million to Ukraine for free shortly after the war broke out in 2022. In November last year, Musk tweeted on his X platform, a major factor for why Ukraine was not overrun by Russia, feeding that whole fake narrative, is the Starlink support I provided, at great risk to SpaceX cyber and physical attacks by Russian military forces. Starlink is the backbone of Ukrainian military communications at the front lines because everything else has been blown up or jammed by Russia. So yes, the criminal agency, the cesspool of woke and DEI, the thing that we must shut down, merge into the State Department under Marco Rubio, which again, all the Republicans and patriots and truthers and all those guys hated him, but now they love him, all because he's now with Trump. It's, again, stop falling for the ruse. This giant organization that Elon Musk hates and all this stuff, well, he works with them. He made money from them. He made deals with them. Anybody surprised? Remember, this is the same guy that makes deals with China. He's made deals with China. He's made deals with Russia. He's made deals with all these countries and bad guys and all this type of stuff. And so is it any surprise he's talking out both sides of his face? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Unfortunately, there's so many people that still can't figure this out. It's unbelievable. I know that I bring this up all the time, but the deception really is a weight. I'm so saddened and burdened by seeing Christians and whatnot still falling for the charade that's going on right now. This theater that's happening right now. It's truly sad. It's heartbreaking because it's if you just remove bias and just look at what's going on, it's right there. How can you not see it? You have to willingly choose to not see it. And unfortunately, I just saw a campaign of many prophecy teachers go to bat and defend and praise Donald Trump this week in particular. I don't know if they all got together and made a decision to do that, but I saw like 5 of them this past week all just go to bat and just say what an amazing person he is and job that he's doing. And it's just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I wish I knew. But these people are lying. These people are absolutely lying to the secular world. They're lying to people, both secular and Christian. They're lying to the church. They've got so many people fooled that they're falling for this. And I'm planning on having Toby on here soon. We had some schedule issues, but I plan on having him come on soon because, and I've received a lot of information from a woman in Spain. I don't want to reveal her name just in case. That she had many personal relationships with people who lived through Nazi Germany, and she sent me a whole bunch of stuff. I can't read a lot of it because it's in German. It's official documents from Germany, news articles and stuff from then Germany. But she says that the comparison of what was going on with the church and Hitler is identical. And the term identical, the word identical, she specifically used the word identical to what's going on with Trump and the church today. And it's, when you look through history, you see what's going on. Toby has read some information on it as well. He sees it. I see it. I've got confirmation from this lady. It's identical. And I don't want to be taken out of context on this. And so I'm going to make sure I make the point. Trump is not the Antichrist. He is not the Antichrist. But he is showing you that the world is ready for the Antichrist because the church is falling on their knees for this guy. And they love him and they will defend him no matter what. He is offering this beast system to them, and they will continue to defend, apologize, and praise this man. The world is ready for the Antichrist. The mindset is there. The church is duped and ready to go, which is perfect because we look at the modern church of what's going on, the church of Laodicea of today. They're going to be falling for it, and they're ready for it. They're ready for it. I don't say this to be happy. I don't say this to smile. Again, this is a burden. It's a weight because I see so many people that are duped by this, that if they just put aside their own way and just look at I was a Trumper. People don't realize that. I was a Trump guy. His first time around, it was only until about his last fourth of his term that I started to see what was going on. But I was all for the guy. I was all for Mike Pence. I was all for these people. And then the hard part of telling yourself I was duped. But once you can do that, you can see what's going on. It's unfortunate. That's all. I know most of you are probably sick of me repeating that. I understand that, but we need to be praying for, pray for everybody, but pray for the people in the church that are still falling for this. Because this is not good. This is not good. Okay. So with that, a couple of things here. You guys remember the Time magazine? Well, they put out their February cover, which is pretty interesting because it actually shows Elon Musk sitting behind the Resolute desk. I wonder what that means. Who's running the show? Now, I still don't think Musk is running the show either. I know a lot of people look at Musk and go, he's the one actually running the show. No, Musk is a puppet too. He's a puppet too. He's playing his part just like Trump is. Trump isn't in control either. He's playing his part. Wittingly, knowingly playing his part, because that's another thing that I see is, well, Trump's doing this stuff. He just doesn't know. Well, no, he knows. If he doesn't know, then he is the dumbest politician ever. Because how you can be used for all of this stuff and not know what's going on. Especially since you've been making deals with the Rothschild family and George Soros family for decades. I don't know how you can not know. But these are puppet guys. But I just find it interesting. This to me, again, this is just an interpretation. I'm not saying anybody can come up with their own interpretation. This tells me that it's technocracy rising. That's what that tells me. It's not politicians anymore. No, it's technocrats now running the show, which again, when you look at what's going on, it absolutely is technocrats. That's how I look at it. Because, if it was the politicians and whatnot, it would show a politician, but they're actually showing a technocrat with it. So I think that's something interesting that I'd throw out there. There was also a meeting that just took place. I believe this was yesterday. With good old Tucker Carlson. Yeah, that's right. I'm seeing some people throw some thumbs up in the chat right at the time that this does. Yeah, everybody put your thumbs up just like they are. That's a frightening picture, guys. I don't know how else to say it. This is a frightening picture because they've got people duped and they're bringing in the beast system without people even realizing it. But I've warned about Tucker Carlson as well. His connections to the CIA through his dad and through his dad's friends and whatnot, his connections to the CIA, Voice of America and all that. Tucker Carlson is actually he's just a determined anti-Semite. Just anything that he can do to throw fire and flames at the Jews and whatnot, he's going to do it. But he's on the payroll, man. He's been on the payroll for a while. Even when he was on Fox, he's part of the CIA program of limited hangout, where they give you just enough information to keep you coming back, keep you believing him, because the information turns out to be true, but they've got you on a hook. And then when they were done with him, they released him from Fox so he can go out on his own, where he built an even bigger audience and people are following him there. This is all a part of that new network of influencers and podcasters and whatnot. The mainstream media is dead. It's been dead for a while, as many people still focus on them, but it's all about podcasters and influencers now. I've talked about these guys before. You've seen them come and go. They're a dime a dozen, but like the Charlie Kirks and the Tucker Carlsons and the Redacted and all these other ones. There's a whole bunch of them out there that you can go through. But these guys are there to influence and deliver you into a certain type of way when it comes to that. What's interesting too is there's some information regarding who else U.S. aid has given money to. And through their pipeline, because they like to do shell companies through, non-governmental organizations and charity groups. But if you follow it from USAID through some of these charity groups, you'll see people like Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA have received funding from USAID, which is fascinating. You see people like Lara Logan, who's another person that I've warned to stay away from. She has also done that, along with Mike Flynn, part of their Internews network or something like that organization. Remember Logan and Mike Flynn and these guys, they were the big Q pushers. So I'm sure that's what was going on when it comes to that. But they both received money. Candace Owens also received money through the pipeline of USAID and some of these other organizations as well. So there's a lot of these people that have been receiving money from USAID, all because it's a game, all because it's a theater, because they play you, they play me, they play us, they play society through the news. And we're seeing that shift from mainstream media into the whole podcast game, which is why I warn about this, especially when you see people just rise out of nowhere and become super popular super fast. That's usually a big sign. I've seen it here with some of the emails that I've received over time for the past several years now. There's times where I'll get an influx all at the exact same time from people saying, you got to check this out. And it's all done by the same person. And that's usually a big red flag for me, is when I start seeing somebody out of the blue, all of a sudden I'm getting flooded with a whole bunch of people saying, you got to check this person out. I start getting very queasy when I see things like that. And I go into question time. I go into questionable overload at that point. So just be careful about these guys. Be careful about me too. Check everything that I say. Don't take it at face value. Don't believe me. I'm still just a man. I get things wrong. When I come across something that I'm wrong, I try to make sure everybody knows that I was wrong, and I try to correct it. The big one last time was the petrodollar thing, which that I got fooled by that. I had to put out a retraction on that one, but just be careful. Just got to be careful about some of the stuff. I also found this, which is going to hurt some feelings, but it's the truth. You look at this. It shows Klaus Schwab. It says vaccines, chips, robots, digital money. It shows somebody with an angry face that says never. Then it shows Elon Musk and Trump. It says vaccines, chips, robots, digital money. And of course, yay, we'll accept that. Because that's exactly what's going on right now, is they're giving you the exact same thing that the globalists want, but you're willing to either overlook it, excuse it, or accept it, all because it's coming from those guys instead. Remember 2024 Davos meeting that was, what was it, rebuilding trust? This is how they're rebuilding trust. They're getting people on board with this. I have seen Christian prophecy teachers who have defended the Stargate situation. You guys know the Stargate? The whole AI, biometric, surveillance, mRNA program. I've seen them defend that, all because it's Trump involved. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where did we go wrong through all this? And then the other last one that I got when it comes to these things, I've been sitting on this for a minute, I didn't know what to do with it. I've got so much of these things that I don't even know what to do with them sometimes. But I thought I'd throw it in this one because I think it's telling no matter what. This was posted on Don Jr.'s Instagram. Shows Trump looking into a mirror with a goat's head on it. If you haven't seen this one, I'm just gonna leave that there for a moment. But they know what they're doing. Donald Jr. knows exactly what he's doing with that. He knows, he has his finger on the pulse of what's going on in the social media sphere. He knows that there's an increasing movement, rumor mill, talking point of people accusing Trump of being the Antichrist. And so you put that out there, and that's going to fluster a lot of people. That's going to continue to feed those who believe that Trump is the Antichrist. Again, he's not the Antichrist. He doesn't fit biblically. And it's going to cause more of a stir. Again, it's all about causing stir between people, division and uproar, because it's through all that stuff that everybody stays distracted and they're able to do what they want to do. But that is bad publicity, man. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing when it comes to that craziness. I'll tell you what. Okay. You guys doing all right? How's everybody doing in the chat? Everybody doing okay in here? Yeah. Sinister. Absolutely sinister for sure. Let's see. It's jumping on me there. Yeah, that goat stuff is satanic. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Baphomet, you look at the Luciferian sigil, you look at all these things. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Bad joke. Yeah. Poor goats. I love goats too. Goats are awesome. Some of my favorite goats. Have you guys ever seen the fainting goats, where they just all of a sudden will just randomly just fall over as like a statue, and then they'll get back up and they're perfectly fine. They're hilarious. I saw a video, a whole bunch of goats, fainting goats. They're just these little guys, and they're all trying to run through this little door to get back into their pen, and one trips and faints, and then all the other ones come through, and they keep tripping over all of the goats, and they keep fainting and tripping over each other. It's hilarious. But yeah, they're great. I think they're great. Good stuff. Oh my goodness. All right, let's keep on going. I got some more stuff here. Let's take a look at what's going on when it comes to the border situation. So I talked about this on Tuesday as well. With the border situation, where they're throwing illegals back. It's the same situation, not enough space. They're throwing them back. And the arrest numbers are actually starting to go down. We're getting reports. Actually, we're not getting reports anymore. We used to get daily reports from the White House and from ICE about arrests and deportations and what. They've stopped. Because the numbers are probably so down now that they don't want to look bad reporting smaller numbers. And we're also getting stuff like this. Says Trump border czar Tom Homan cautions against ICE operational leaks, cartel violence. And we can see here Trump is angry, quote unquote, that deportation numbers are not higher. We're getting a whole bunch of this going on. It says several reporters briefly engaged Homan outside the White House with questions regarding ICE sweeps in Aurora, Colorado, and sanctuary cities such as Chicago. Reporter asked how an operation against the Venezuela gang Tren de Agra was proceeding in Aurora, where the gang has been accused of taking over apartment buildings while victimizing migrants and local residents. Trump promised the American people that we're going to concentrate on Tren de Aragua. Homan said they're one of our priorities. The report that I got regarding that, you guys remember the Venezuela gangs that was taking over the apartments and stuff like that. They arrested one person. That was the last report that I saw. They were arrested one person from that gang. Apparently all the rest of them are gone. They disappeared, which that's pretty impressive. He's blaming intel leaks and stuff like that. But the thing is, is before this was like 2 or 3 days before Trump even was inaugurated. Holman was saying there was already intel leaks, and they had to postpone and pull back. That's when they had people set up in 10 different cities, and they had to all bring them back in and stuff. This is just, whether it's incompetence or just a complete show, whatever it is, who knows at this point. The fact is this is still, nothing is getting fixed on this. We've got a bill now coming through. What is it, like $300 something billion, I think, for the border wall, which of course we know that's going to be the AI biometric surveillance wall that's going to come with a digital ID and tracking and all that type of stuff, which that's going to be fun. Again, bringing in the beast system right there in front of us, but we're all going, yay. But it's all just a giant charade that's going on right now. Again, whether it's incompetence or not, this is about as much as I figured was going to happen. This is because this is what happened the last time, and it's happening again now. It's, nothing is getting fixed on this, even if you're getting fed the illusion that it's getting fixed, unfortunately. So again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what the answer is, or really what's going on. I can only just go off of what I've seen, but they're not reporting numbers anymore. We got illegals getting released back. We got supposed intel leaks that are making it so they can't go and arrest these gangs and whatnot. And they had 4 years to get this planned. 4 years to get it planned. Didn't really work. Now, did it? Speaking of border, let's jump from the U.S. border over to the Middle East and see what's going on. So we've got Trump, who announced, again, I went over this on Tuesday, if you guys want to know more about it, if you missed it. But you got Trump, who announced that he wants to take over Gaza under U.S. control. He wants to possibly send U.S. military soldiers over there. And I talked about the Gaza 2035 situation, and how I believe that Israel knew it was coming, and they allowed the invasion to happen, which allowed them to go and do what they did to Gaza on that situation. I've got so much more information regarding that subject, but I can't talk about it, which is unfortunate, because I will absolutely get canceled if I do. But just to let you know, I've got a whole bunch of more information regarding that. There's a reason why I hold that view on that. But they have to move all the Palestinians out. They have to move all the Arabs out of the region. And we're getting this. It says, Jordan ready for war with Israel if Palestinians are expelled into its territory. Trump's call to clear out Gaza has sparked anger in Amman, with well-placed sources telling Middle East Eye that the U.S. allies prepared for war. So with this one, regarding this, apparently there's kind of a weird translation issue when you take it from the original writing, because it wasn't written in English and then transferred over. So when you read that, it looks like Jordan will declare war on Israel if any of them start getting pushed over the border. What they really meant by that situation is that's a red line that Jordan won't allow Israel to cross. So they're saying it's like the strictest warning that Jordan can give without actually saying that we will declare war on you. So it's not a will. They said it's a possibility. So I know that might just be a small thing, but that small thing is kind of important with this. I just want to make sure that we got that. So when I went and read into this, that's what I found. But Jordan is not having it. Jordan is not having it, and neither is Egypt, because Egypt is also doing the same thing. They're saying red line. Egypt condemns Netanyahu's call for Palestinian state in Saudi Arabia. Cairo's foreign ministry says that suggestions of moving Palestinians to Saudi territory is a flagrant violation of international law and norms. So there is a lot of these countries over here that are not happy, to say the least. They're getting very angry. going so far to say that there's a possibility that we may go to war with you if you start doing this type of stuff. There's the Saudi president came out, not the prince, but the president came out and just slammed Trump as well, which I don't know about all that situation. I don't necessarily talk too much when it comes to the politics of those countries out there, because the more I look into it and the more I listen to people and the more I read, doesn't matter where it comes from or who's talking, nobody has a clue what's going on over there. That is an interesting spot where it's just, this is what I've noticed. I'll just tell you guys up front. This is what I've noticed. When you're looking at news regarding Israel and this type of stuff, you're either getting people who are ride or die Israel, or they want Israel nuked off the face of the earth. It's really difficult to find, non-biased information when it comes to that situation. I know everybody's got, well, this guy. And it's like, I've probably looked into them, and there's a lot of things that I don't know. I just don't know. But that's one of the situations where I don't talk too much about that area. I keep an eye on what's going on, obviously, but I don't talk too much about it because it's just such a volatile news area where it's just, everybody's just throwing darts at a board and nothing really seems to happen as we expect it to. So I know there's a lot of people that says you should talk about that more. It's like, I don't really just want to throw darts at a board on the information that I'm getting. So just want to put that out there. But keep an eye on what's going on, especially since we've got Jordan and Egypt that are now starting to get irritated. Who knows what's going to happen with this Gaza situation, because we're seeing different things that the U.S. is going to take control. Saudi's going to take control. There's another one that was going to take control. There's a coalition that could take control. I'm seeing so many different reports about who will take control. Then you got the whole situation with Kushner and Saudi. They're trying to work something out when it comes to this. There's just so much happening over there. I'm not even going to pretend like I have an answer for you. I don't think anybody does at this moment in time. We just kind of got to wait and see with what's going on. I know I say that all the time, but sometimes, most of the time, that's the best option, is just to wait and see what's going to happen with it. Now, speaking of this, when it comes to the Jewish situation over here in the United States and the Christian situation, there's something that I know on this surface, I do this all the time. I talk about something, how on the surface it looks good, but you're starting to go down a path that leads to some serious problems. The first one is the executive order regarding anti-Semitism. I'm sure a lot of people have heard this before, but this one was signed January 30th. Trump takes forceful and unprecedented step to combat anti-Semitism. It says, combating anti-Semitism in the United States today, President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order to combat anti-Semitism. Expanding on his executive order 13899, President Trump's new order takes forceful and unprecedented steps to marshal all federal resources to combat the explosion of anti-Semitism on our campuses and in our streets since October 7th, 2023. Every federal executive department and agency leader will review and report to the White House within 60 days on all criminal and civil authorities and actions available for fighting anti-Semitism. Immediate action will be taken by the Department of Justice to protect law and order, quell pro-Hamas vandalism and intimidation, and investigate and punish anti-Jewish racism in leftist, anti-American colleges and university. The order demands the removal of all resident aliens who violate our laws. Now, there's other stuff to it, but I think you guys get the gist. I'm sure everybody has seen that before. On the surface, it looks good because we have seen the rise of anti-Semitism. We've seen the riots. We've seen the attacks. We've seen the vandalism. We've seen, everything that's going on. But the danger of this is you are starting to chip away at the First Amendment. Now, I'm not protecting vandalism. I'm not protecting attacks. I'm not protecting riots or anything like that, but this is hate speech as well. And this is a situation, I've said it before and I'll say it again, because the First Amendment right protects racist people. They do. you're allowed to say racist things under the First Amendment. Obviously, you can't threaten because that's a different situation, but you're allowed to be that. Now, you're a garbage human being if you do it, but the First Amendment allows it. This executive order goes so far as to, if you just say something that is racist or, anti-religious against Jews, they can come and take you away for it. This is similar to laws that were being put in place in Nazi Germany. Now, not so much with the Jews, obviously, because we know that whole situation. But when it comes to religious freedoms or speech freedoms, they started putting limits on them that best fit their description of it. And the moment you start allowing them to take an inch, they can start changing things up, moving things around, and taking more and more and more of it. It's what's going on. And so we also see this too, which is the same thing for Christian bias. But I've got a question with this. So as Trump signs executive order targeting anti-Christian bias. Trump on Thursday signed an executive order creating a Justice Department task force to eradicate what he called anti-Christian bias within the federal government. In 2023, House Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of Federal Government reported that under the pretext of tackling the threat of domestic terrorism, the FBI's Richmond office described certain radical traditionalist Catholics as violent extremists and proposed opportunities for the FBI to infiltrate Catholic churches as a form of threat mitigation. So we got the same thing with Christian now. But what defines Christian? See, the thing is if you go back in history, and again, I'm pulling this out again, you know who else declared himself to be a Christian? Hitler. Hitler did. And he defined restrictive laws according to his version of Christian, which wasn't Christian at all. And so when we start removing the thing is this type of stuff was done when Biden was in place just for their side of things. And we were all up in arms about it. But because now it's Trump and it's for something on our side of things, we can't look past the fact that this is a very slippery slope into whatever definition that they want to call, whatever they want to define as anti-Christian or anti-Semitic or anti-whatever. They can do whatever they want with the law. They start taking this in directions that this is just how it goes. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'm sure everybody has heard that term before. Just because it's something that maybe favors something on our side, which again, you start messing with rights in the Constitution. I don't think it favors anybody. There's a reason why they're there. Unalienable God-given rights. But the fact is when we start seeing this stuff, it's not good. And I don't care if they slap anti-Semitism or anti-Christian on there. Again, what is their definition of that? What falls under that pretext? What are they going to change to make it fit according to what they want to do? There's so many questions when they start going down this road. And a good way to get people on board with this, and I've talked about this, I think it was on Tuesday when I was talking about the whole woke and DEI thing, is when Biden was in there, there was such an extreme push for woke, DEI, alphabet agenda, anti-Semitism, all this type of stuff, social justice. There's such an extreme push that, and I've talked about this before, just because the pendulum is so far over here, you can't be okay when it swings all the way to the other side, which is what we're starting to see now. We've got to be very careful that we don't fall on either ends of the extreme, but because they fed you so much of this, and this is the same tactic that they did, that they took when it came to getting Trump in office now, is because they fed you so much of this that the only option that they could give you was something so far on the other side, because it's so anti everything that you were against, that people are just going to naturally jump on board with it. And I think we're seeing the same case here when we see something like this and when we see something like this. That's just me personally. But I don't think these are good. Does the anti-Semitism stuff need to stop? Absolutely. Does the biased oppression against Christians need to stop? Absolutely. But we can't let the pendulum swing all the way to the other side, which is actually anti-law of the land. And a lot of people ask about, the Romans thing. Well, we go by the law of the land. That's not the president. That's not Congress. That's not any of those people. The law of the land for the United States, at least, is the Constitution. That's the law of the land. So we follow that. If our leadership goes against that, then we don't follow that. That's how we, as United Statesians, Americans, do that. Now, when it comes to other countries, that's I'm not UK and stuff. I don't know anything about that. So you got to figure that out over there. But at least here in the United States, that's how we properly apply that in that situation. And both of these go against it. That's just it. Now, coming along with that, this is the thing that I'm sure everybody has said before. Just a heads up, Fabro, with Gary McKibben, he's falling in line with defending Trump and all on board with all that type of stuff as well. He's also had some very questionable people who align with people like Paula White, like Troy Brewer, and a woman who claims that she interprets dreams and calls herself pastor and stuff like that. I know I've had him on and I was on his show, but I have disconnected with him because he's very much hyper charismatic. So just a little warning on that. I know I have people who watch Gary in here. I'm probably going to make him angry on that. When I saw that, I have to make a point regarding on that. So yeah, I know I'm not here to make people angry and step on toes. I just got to send warning when I see things like that. I just have to be careful. Speaking of hyper charismatic, let's take a look at what's going on when it comes to the latest update with Paula White and the White House Faith Office. So it says President Trump announces appointments to the White House Faith Office. So they basically created a faith office with 3 people headed by quote unquote Pastor Paula White. Kane, that's always fun. It says, will return to the White House as special government employee and senior advisor of the newly created White House Faith Office. So before we go any further on that, just to make a point, Trump's relationship to Paula White isn't new. This has been a relationship that they've had for a very long time. Over 10 years, they've known each other. Remember, Trump grew up in the Norman Vincent Peale Church, which is the New Thought manifestation, power of positive thinking type of belief system. He grew up with that. He folded into, he has a Kabbalah teacher, Eaton, something like that. I can't remember, but he actually has a Kabbalah teacher. There's a story out there. I don't know I don't know if I can confirm it. I haven't been able to confirm it yet. I haven't really looked, so maybe somebody else has. But there's a story about there that he actually switched religions to Judaism 2 years ago. Again, I don't know. But Paula White has been there through all that type of stuff. They've had a close relationship. Who all knows what's going on with that? Because if you look at Paula White, she's been, she cheated on her husband to go marry the dude from Journey, and they did a speech. This was a while ago where they were up on stage, and her husband at the time was saying, if your husband, is into the freaky stuff, then maybe the wife should sit down with the husband and they can watch porn together or something like that. They actually said that from the pulpit of their church, and that's a troubling situation. But yeah, this isn't new. She was involved with his first term as well, so she's been around, to say the least. But yeah, if we take a look, it says in the last 40 years, White Kane has expanded her influence globally in almost 200 countries, ministering, fighting for religious freedom and humanitarian rights, and advocating for the voiceless. She is the founder and president of Paula White Ministries and National Faith Advisory Board. She is president of City Destiny, the overseer and a teaching pastor at Story Life Church in Florida. Again, women can't be pastors. Just doesn't work. So this is all fake and she's living unbiblically. Paula previously served as an advisor to Trump in the White House Faith and Opportunity Initiative. She also served as chairwoman of the Evangelical Advisory Board in 2016. Again, that was part of his first stint there. Paula is a celebrated New York Times bestselling author, teacher, wife, and so on and so forth. And then you can see here Jonathan Cain of the iconic rock and roll Hall of Fame band Journey. Yeah, that's great. This woman is a witch. She's hyper charismatic witch. And she has fully got the Jezebel spirit up in her, to say the least. I just took a few clips of what she does. Try and hold your lunch down while you take a look at this is the one leading the faith office.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
We are in a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken. Let it be torn down in the name of Jesus. You want me to tell you what my thoughts are? The thoughts of the King of Kings, the thoughts of the Lord of Lords. I'm downloading heaven. Hey! My spirit went up. And I literally went to the throne room of God. I won't say much, but I'll say something that's important for me to teach you here today. So in that divine encounter, I don't know how long I was there. I just know that kind of power is almost impossible for a natural body to contain. And as I went to the throne room of God, first I saw there was a mist that was coming off the water, and I went to the throne of God, and I didn't see God's face clearly, but I saw the face of God. It wasn't clear, not like I could see your face clearly, but I knew it was the face of God. And as God began, he put a mantle on me, and it was a very distinct mantle. I had no idea that Apostle had prophesied. I think you said that there was a mantle that was coming upon me, that there was a new mantle coming upon me. And there was a mantle, and I saw it very distinctly. The color was like a goldish, but it was a yellowish goldish, a little bit different than your scarf, a little bit brighter than your scarf there. And then I saw the earth for a moment. And then he brought me back and he put me in certain places, one being the White House, one being certain continents. It was a mass move. I didn't come out of that really until the next morning.
Yeah, you didn't come out of that. Come out of her. Come out of her. Yikes. So yeah, that's your head of the faith office. That's the one that Trump, again, that was his spiritual advisor in 2016, and that's his spiritual advisor and head of faith office for this one as well. What's the excuse, people? What are we going to hear now? What's the excuse of, well, Trump just didn't know. Well, you know, he just needs some of these other people to come up beside him. And it's like, I'm tired of the excuses, man. She's a witch. She is leading people straight to hell. She is a devil woman. Period. Paula White is a devil woman who has aligned herself with Trump, and Trump is fully on board with it because that's the type of stuff that he follows as well. So again, when we look at something like this, what type of Christianity will they be defending and injecting into what's going on right now? Because it is not going to be anything good. It is not going to be true Christianity. It's not going to be of God. It's going to be of Satan. You know, I made this point when I had Spencer on. I said, how many lines are we going to cross until we realize that we're shaking hands with the devil? Like, how many lines is it going to take before we realize that we're shaking hands with the devil? Because right now, I have seen the entire church move so far past that line that I can't even see them anymore. Because they just keep making excuse. Well, because it's not the other guy. Well, it's not Kamala. Well, because we have to get rid of the DEI. Well, because they took the pronouns off of the government emails. Well, we got to do this. Well, because it's bringing Christian back. God anointed this person. And it's just how far do we realize before we realize, oh, snap, I've been duped. I need to go back. Where do you have to go back? To the word. We've gone so far past this now that we don't, but yet we still lie to ourselves saying, well, it's because I'm standing up for this that I'm making all these excuses and compromises. No, it's not. You're making all those excuses and compromises for your own self-being. And anybody who tries to point it out, you're demonizing them. That's a problem. Because we have allowed Satan's been there. But we are now not only allowing Satan in there, but we are praising satanic agenda and satanic people in control. Because it's not the other guy. Question? Because this was the big one I heard for a while. I voted for Trump because I want my grocery bill to go down. Anybody's grocery bill gone down? Because mine's gone up significantly in the past month. Oh, I've been keeping track. It's gone up. So what was the other excuse? See, we are allowing full-on mystery religion into this world. We are embracing it. And I have made this point. I made this point almost every single episode that I did my End Times New Age series on. The fact is we can sit here and talk about all the things going on in the world right now, but if we don't understand the root of where it's coming from, we can't defend it. Nobody wants to talk about the mystery religion. Nobody has a clue about the mystery religion. Nobody has any idea. Everybody's over here arguing about, well, New York's Babylon and this is Babylon and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, you guys are completely missing the point. The fact is it's the harlot. It is the religious system, the fountain of many religions that are all coming together to form the beast system. And you're being seduced by it. She is the seductress. She brings it to you in a way that you will accept it. You are enticed by it. And I'm telling you right now that the church has been fed a heaping load of seducting mystery religion in the form of Donald Trump. He is feeding you this stuff and bringing it in because he is led by that mystery religion, and he's giving it to you in the way that you will accept it and ask for more. This is why it's so dangerous that when we don't understand really what is going on and where this stuff comes from. That's why I did that series. I get it. It's long and there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's so important for you to actually see what's happening. The research that I did on that, I presented it to you guys, but that was really for my own well-being because I managed to learn so much about what's going on and break out of those rose-colored glasses of what's going on when I did that research, because I took it from the garden to the end of what is happening, how it's entwined with everything and all coming together. And it's a spiritual religious movement that's doing it. We can look at this politician, we can look at that technocrat, we can look at all these people, but if you don't know what's leading it, how can you defend yourself against it? But yet the problem is we have Christians now who not only are listening, but they're teaching the prophecy stuff that don't have a clue about it. And so they're just teaching what they don't know, and they're not willing to learn anything about it. Do not be deceived. Well, the problem is you can't even get Christians to be interested in learning about this, because they'd rather you argue about something that really means nothing. And, well, who are the 10 kings? We don't know. We're not going to know. That's not for us to know. Well, who's the Antichrist? We don't know. We're not going to know. Well, that's not for us to know. Well, where's Babylon? We don't know. That's not for us to know. Why are we arguing about these things over and over and over, week in and week out, about these things that really don't mean anything? But all the meanwhile, we continue to get shoveled this mystery religion stuff into us that's duping us, deceiving us. And we're just flapping in the wind because we're over here talking about this stuff that really doesn't mean anything in the end. I think it's so important. And it's something that I've been keeping track of too, because I've been doing that End Times New Age series Redux, and the view count just keeps dropping. Nobody's interested. Nobody cares. But yet I'll go and watch these other things of a video. God revealed this to me. No, he didn't. False prophet, you sham, knock it off. Or you go and you say, well, who are the 10 kings? I don't know. For the 5,000th discussion that we've had so far in this year, we're only a month and a half in. We don't know. Why are we still having this conversation? Why aren't we talking about the actual thing that's going on, that's duping people, the spiritual warfare of what's going on? You know, it's the same thing when I get some emails from people saying, I love Spencer Smith, but he just keeps talking about his Third Adam series. Have you watched it? Because that's another one that does it. See, that's the thing that I love, because when I got pulled out of the NAR, the Lord gave me two specific things that I went to first. One was a sermon by a guy, David Henneke, talking about why his church won't be singing Bethel music. The second thing I found was Third Adam. And it was those two things that started my jump into this. I watched the Third Adam series, and I saw the direction, the angle that Spencer was taking when it comes to the mystery religion. I thought it was fantastic. And then I started doing research on my own End Times New Age series, and I took it from a different angle. If you watch both of those things, it's not the whole system, obviously, but you get an all-encompassing view of what's happening with the religious side and what's going on with the political side. And I think it's so important to see how that's all working together, because that is what's leading us right now. And I find it so devastating that you have pastors that have never even heard of the mystery religion before. They don't even know what it is. You have some pastors that have heard it before, try and teach it, and they really don't know what it is. And then you have Christians that, because most of them are fed through pastors, not their own reading and research, they don't ever know what it is, and they just fall prey to it. It's unfortunate. And if you don't understand the mystery of religion, you won't understand truly what something like this means. When you see Candace Owens, of course, she's devout Catholic, says, major energy shift this year. You can just feel it. January was great, and it will only get better. Everything done in the dark is coming to light. This is the duality. This is the light and the dark. This is the male and the female. This is what it is. Those who deal in deceit, dishonesty, and perversion should buckle up, because it's going to be a rough year. And yes, it is, Candace, because you are one of those people. And then she uses that phrase, which I've warned about before, Christ is King. It's not the Christ that is Jesus Christ that they mean when they say that. That's their Christ, their false Christ that they're mentioning, the false mystery religion that they're following, the false Messiah. Because it's people like that that will be duped and fall for the false Christ. The duality energy shift is occultic. It's anti-God. It's satanistic. It's spiritual, but not in like the spiritual. It's spirituality. It's the mystery of religion. And that's what we're seeing when it comes to the politics of what's going on. We were so far to the dark, and now we think that Trump's bringing the light. Well, just wait until the Antichrist comes on the scene and says, I will save you from both. Because that's what he's going to do. He's going to save people, quote unquote, from both. You think it's deceptive now. Just wait until he steps onto the scene. That's why mystery religion is so dang important for us to start to realize what's going on, to understand what's going on. She rides the beast in, and she does it in a very seducing manner. I can't remember. I think it's in James. I can't remember the exact chapter, but it says there's two forms of wisdom. There's one from God, and there's an earthly one, and it's the earthly one that's seducing. Just something to think about on that. Tell you what, man. You can know all the information in the world. You can know all the facts, the truth. You can dig through all the holes. You can follow all the threads and put them to where they need to go. You can connect all the dots. You can cross all the T's. You can dot all the I's. You can do all that stuff. But if you don't have Jesus Christ and you're falling for what's going on with this false light duality mystery religion, you are doomed. Because it's only through Jesus Christ that you will find the truth, that you will find salvation, that you will find hope. The thing is even if you do have Jesus, that doesn't mean, and I still have people to argue with me on this, you're arguing with the Bible, you're not arguing with me. Just because you're saved and you're a Christian does not mean that you have discernment. And we are seeing that very much in today's world. I'm not saying that I've got a bunch of it. I'm just saying that there are many people who are saved. Absolutely, they love Christ with all their heart. But they cannot discern an elephant from a penny. It's a gift that the Holy Spirit will select who receives. But in the end, what really matters is your soul is placed in the hands of Christ and your name is written in the book of life. That's all that matters. And his gospel is so simple, nothing complicated. Simple as ABC. A, you admit that you're a sinner. The act of repentance, metanoia, the changing of mind. Realizing I can't do this on my own and I need Jesus Christ. It's through repentance that allows true belief. How can you believe in Jesus Christ as your Savior if you don't know why? You need Jesus Christ as your Savior. You repent, which allows true belief. You believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only, and he lived the perfect sinless life, the one and only to do so, which means he was the only one qualified to carry the sins of the world upon his shoulders. Our sin, my sin. Carry it to the cross, take our place upon the cross and be crucified. Still to this day, the most painful death anyone can suffer. He took our place. That should have been us. But he loves us that much. And he died on the cross. But because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, because he did exactly as he said he would, he did exactly as he promised, and he did exactly as he prophesied. He defeated death and rose again on the third day. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory. And what a glorious day that's going to be when we get to fall at the feet of Jesus. I'm looking forward to that day. But remember, knowing and believing are two different things. You can know the story, you can say the sinner's prayer, but if you don't have your faith and your belief in Jesus Christ, then you don't have Jesus. Believe in him and see as you call upon the Lord. Lord Jesus, I'm a sinner and I have sinned and I need you alone to save me. Lord Jesus, I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down and lived the perfect sinless life, that you died upon the cross, and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. Amen. Don't put it off. Don't think that you can save yourself. Don't think that you can figure it out. It's not how it works. You need Jesus. Jesus alone to save. All right. We got some questions. A lot of questions. Oh, snap. Okay. How are we doing on time? All right. Let's see what we can do here. Let's get through some of these here. Did I say? Oh, is that somebody new? We got Shelly. So glad I came across you tonight. Are you new, Shelly? Well, glad to have you here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. And glad you found me. Hope you stick around. I tend to get on some people's nerves, but you got to have some thick skin if you're going to hang around. But glad to have you part of the Misfit family. Yeah. Well, welcome in, Shelly. Glad to have you here. Eugene XP. Zach, what are you excited about? Jesus Christ, his truth, his word, and the blessed hope that he has promised to take us home when all of this stuff continues to fall apart as it has been. That's what I'm excited for, Eugene. If you're asking what I'm excited for in this world, not a thing. I'm excited to be in the presence of Jesus and to go home. And when I see all the stuff crumbling around me right now, that makes me excited because I know I'm almost home. That's what I'm excited about, Eugene. That's what I'm excited about. All right, let's see here. Ms. Mustard. Hey, what's going on, Mustard? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Let's see. What's your advice on combating frustration when trying to wake up fellow Christians who are in the left-right paradigm and when they argue having done zero research? When you figure that out, let me know. Because I see your question's not about how to talk to them about it, which, yeah, that's a thing in itself. Advice on just combating the frustration. Well, it's one of those things where you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That phrase is so just true. I think you can find that in the book of Second Opinions. It should be, something like that. It's because of how true it is. But when it comes to that, you just got to realize that you really can't get these people to do stuff. I know people who say that I haven't done any research or that I believe the propaganda. And I know for a fact that those people haven't looked into anything. They just opened up a Fox News article and went off of that. There's really no way to try and combat that other than just realizing that the most important thing is that they've got their salvation, their life, their soul placed in the hands of Jesus. So fellow Christians, as long as they're truly saved, if they want to continue to go down the deception route, that's their own choice. You can't force them. And that way, just make sure that they are saved. And that's the biggest thing. If you focus on the soul rather than the mind in that situation, I think that should help with some frustration. That's my opinion on that one. But yeah, no, it's something, the emails I get, man, tell you what, Lord hears from me often saying, Lord, just give me patience. Just give me the patience, Lord. Yeesh. But yeah, that's the best way. Just focus on their soul. That's the most important part. That Titus 2 life. Will you, pretty please, pretty please make a video sharing some of the music you found that is worth listening to. I'm struggling to find music to skate to. The problem is the stuff that I listen to is just random, like royalty-free, just music done by just a guy who makes royalty-free music to use on stuff. I don't really listen to like music. I just listen to background noise while I read and stuff. I can't read in pure silence. I have to have something. I'm one of those weird people. I don't really have any. What's his face? Todd Agnew is great. If you're talking about like Christian music, Todd Agnew, you're talking about skate. When I think of like skate music, I need like upbeat stuff. I don't really have any of that. Todd Agnew's great though. He does some good stuff. Robin Mark is really good as well. Puts out some good stuff. So there's a couple there. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one, Titus. There's a reason why I haven't done it. I've had so many people request for it, but I don't necessarily have anything for it, so I'm sorry. Hopefully those two guys will help you out though. Todd Agnew and Robin Mark are good. Let's see here. Mariana McNana, I love the name. Zephaniah 24. Do you think this is Gaza? I got nothing, Mariana. Yeah, that's out of my zone when it comes to things like that. Maybe check out Chris Quintana. He's got great stuff when it comes to the study of prophecy and stuff. And I think he just did something on that not too long ago. So I'd check him out. He can probably answer the question for you. Let's see here. Sprawl question: have you heard Chuck Schumer is on the list with over 200 calls to Epstein? They're all hooked up with Epstein like that. Chuck Schumer is, and Elon Musk has connections to Epstein. Donald Trump is all hooked up with Epstein. You know, the Clintons are all hooked up with Epstein. All these people are hooked up with Epstein. And that's a list, the official list that we'll never get. But yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, they're all hooked up into that. That's part of being connected to that group. Is you're connected to that Luciferian underground, and we're not going to get into that right now. But yeah, they're all hooked up with that. Rebecca Sunny Farm, Zach, did you see Trump name Paula White as faith office? Yeah, just went over that, Rebecca. So hopefully you're still here and heard that. Richard Ropiak, question: if Israel is divided to be a Palestinian state or U.S. territory, is it not still being divided? Yep, absolutely. People don't realize that we're currently in a two-state solution right now, because true Israel is still all divided up. So if you really want to get into that, when I had Levi on, he made that point. He says we're currently already in one. They want to divide it again on top of it. It doesn't matter who divides it and who takes over. If you divide it, you are dividing Israel. So absolutely, Richard. Absolutely. Patrick Starr, question: do you think the tariffs will skyrocket prices relatively soon, like they're talking $10 for a dozen eggs? It depends on when they pause them and when they put them in effect, and how businesses prepare for it. So remember, the businesses and the countries and stuff are not going to take the hit. It's going to be the customers. So if they're going to pre-plan for it, if they're going to start implementing that stuff, even if there's like a pause or something like that, then it's going up. Like I said, in the past month, my grocery bill has already gone up significantly. And I was just looking at, first of all, if you can even find eggs anymore, because of the culling of chickens. Eggs are becoming a hot commodity right now if you can find them. The eggs at my store are constantly almost gone. You just have to take what's left. But yeah, a dozen eggs over here in my store. You go back 2 months and it was like $4 something for a dozen eggs. You look at it now, it's $6.50 roughly for a dozen eggs. So it's jumped up quite a bit. So prices will continue to go up. How fast they go, that's the question. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Free daily bread question. Daniel 11:45 says the Antichrist will build the palace between the sea and Jerusalem. It appears Trump is preparing Gaza to be where the AC will live. What do you think? I'd have to actually look at that and read it. So I got nothing for you at this moment. I'd have to look at it. Mariana McNana, again, that name is just awesome. Any thoughts on if Super Bowl could end up being a false flag event? Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to. That's a big thing that's been going around, that's been pushed lately, because somebody took an old movie, and this is the stuff that I'm just. I'm just, it's frustrating when people follow this stuff. They took an old movie that involves a Zeppelin crashing into the Super Bowl with bombs on it. And then they took like the date and time. I think I still have the picture on my phone. I want to make sure that I get this right. I think I still have the picture on my phone. Where is that? Nope. I know I have it here somewhere. Just give me 1 second. Don't like having... There it is. Yeah, so Black Sunday could be tomorrow. Movie released April 1st, 1977. And then people said from Friday, April 1st, 1977 to Sunday, February 9th, 2025, which is supposedly the Super Bowl. That's 47 years and 45 weeks. So they took 47 and 45, which is Trump's thing, and they're making it sound like it's some type of thing. This is the stuff that I warn about. This is the stuff that I talk about. This code breaking, taking numbers and just applying, because you can take numbers and apply it to anything. You can make anything say anything that you want when you start playing with stuff like that. When I saw that getting passed around, I'm just sitting there going, this is so ridiculous. I don't expect anything to happen tomorrow. I don't. I know there's a lot of talk that something is, but I don't see it. I don't see it. This stuff is just, they just take things and just roll with it, man. And I can't get on board with it. I'm all about digging through holes and connecting dots, but if you're having to force things like that could be a million different things, I'm out. Let's see here. Tracy question, do you have or know if anyone program that does cover the September 2001 9/11? I did a podcast with JB Hickson. This was a few months back. Some Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist. I think that's what it's titled. And we went over 9/11. Both he and I went over 9/11. We went over some in-depth stuff regarding that, and some other false flags too. So Tracy, if you go, did I put that one on mine? I think I may have put that on mine. Let me look it up, and then I can throw it in the chat for you. You still here, Tracy? Let's see here. No, that is not the button that I wanted. Let's see here if I can find it. Nope, it is not on mine. If you go to, yeah, I didn't upload it because I think it was YouTube. If you go to JB Hickson's podcast, you can find it there. I don't have it available to pull it up, Tracy. But yeah, I believe it's called Confessions of a Conspiracy Theorist, and we discussed 9/11. So go check that out if you are interested. Okay. Let's see here. Eric Helander, we just admitted to the world that we paid for and created the problem and the solution that crippled the world. Why is the world not asking for reparations for what we did? Because the world is under control of the same people that did that thing. When you say we, you're talking about the United States government, I'm assuming. But the United States government is still under control of the same Luciferian group that controls all the other groups as well. So it's all going according to plan. It's all going according to plan. Jeffrey Crone, question. Trump wants Palestinians out of Gaza and the West Bank under Israel's control. Could this be a prelude to Ezekiel 38 when Israel is living in peace? There's so much going on with that because if you still have to get the Palestinians out, and from what I just showed, even like Jordan and Egypt and Saudi supposedly are all pretty angry right now with what's going on and saying that this could be a volatile situation. So it's one of those things where we got to get past the first step first before we even start thinking about something like that, in my opinion, because right now it's this step of where these people are going to go. And remember, just because they're Arabs that were living in that region doesn't mean they're bad people. That's something else that I see a lot of the time, because a lot of people just think, well, just because they live there, they're automatically a terrorist. And a lot of those people, they live there because that's all that they can do. But they crossed over into Israel in order to go to work each day to survive. A lot of these people are just people trying to live. There's a lot of bad ones too, but we can't just cast them all out. But we got to figure out, first of all, where these people are going to go and how these other countries are going to respond when it happens. So past that, I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Fabro family, is it likely that the whole reverence attitude tweet T-boy is preparation for the masses to worship? Okay, I think the question that you're asking is the mindset of the people and the reverence that they have for Trump. Is that similar to the Antichrist? I would say yes. Trump, of course, is not the Antichrist, but what we're seeing now with him literally giving people the beast system and them accepting it and praising him for it is showing that the world is ready for the Antichrist, and this is a precursor, in my opinion. So I think that's the question you're asking. Machine Gun Kelly, why is there a blessing written in the book of Revelation? Why bless those who read it? Because we're commanded to be watchmen, we're commanded to watch, and we're commanded to learn and study the Word of God. So for Revelation, it's one of those situations where it's the book of a book of prophecy of coming events, and those who read it will read it and understand it as we're commanded to do as watchmen. We will receive a blessing for it. It's one of those blessings that many Christians don't even realize because they've been taught not to go to that book. So it's kind of like a validity check, a spiritual check. I don't want to say validity check, but a spiritual check going, have you been reading the Word? If you get to, it's kind of, I'll give an example. There's a old school trick that football teams would do. And what they would do is when they're recruiting college players for the NFL, each player that they're interested in, that the team is interested in, will give them the playbook, and they'll ask them to study and learn the playbook, and they'll test them on it later. What a lot of teams would do is they would either tape money in it, or they would put at like the end of the book or towards the end of the playbook, or they'll do like a sticker or a certain little design or something like that. And when they go through the test, they wouldn't directly ask them about that, but they would lead them in a direction to see if they would mention it. Like, oh, I found the money that was at the end. Oh, I saw the little design. Oh, I saw the sticker. I saw this or that. And it tested them to see if they actually did the homework, if they actually studied, and if they had the character enough to admit that they did it. I think this is similar in that same case where the Lord said, if you do what I command you to do and you do the homework and you read this book that I know people are going to tell you to avoid, you're going to have a certain blessing. If you do so, it's going to show your character. It's going to show that you did your homework. It's going to show that you watched. It's going to show that you did what I told you to do. And so that's how I look at that. I think that's a great little thing to show that's what's going on with that. So it's the same thing in the book. Anybody who adds or removes from that book will be cursed as well. And that's a warning for the false prophets that like to think that they're getting extra revelatory visions and stuff like that. Get out of here. So that's how I look at it. Let's see here. Good question, Kelly. Misfit Robin, question, what is your opinion on people who say that they can see into the spiritual realm? I don't believe that they can. If we could see into the spiritual realm, I believe that we would drop dead. Now, we can see some spiritual things in our realm. There's people who have sightings of different things, not like ghosts and stuff. Don't do that. But demonic sightings, people see demons and stuff kind of rolling around. We see orbs, like actual spiritual orbs, not the fake stuff. But yeah, no, if you can see the spiritual realm, you're going to drop dead. Our minds can't comprehend that stuff. So I don't believe in that at all. I really don't. That is not for us to see. That's not for us to see. Not yet. We will when we get our new bodies, because then we'll be able to see it. But now, no, we can't handle it. Let's see here. Chicky Mama, question: did you notice Trump's hands during the Netanyahu meeting? Same gesture Eric did at the inauguration. Trump has been doing that for decades. Go back to his early days when he was just getting involved with business. He sat with his hands the same way. It's just, and many businessmen do. When I sit down, I do that every once in a while. It's one of those things where I said, don't read into the hand signs too much. Yeah, he's been doing that all his life. So. And he trained his kids to do it too. His kids do the same thing. It's just a business power move. That's really all that is. Let's see here. Richard Ropiak, question: what we see happening to the once solid pastors, is it not a seduction from the harlot of Babylon because they are practicing politics at the pulpit without godly discernment? What we see happening. I believe that they've been seduced by this political system. They've been seduced by the political side of the mystery religion. I do believe that. Just because you've been seduced by something doesn't mean that you're not saved, though. There are many people. Look at all the churches that are playing quote unquote mystery music in their churches. That's something else to keep in mind with that as well. Is they use this mystery religious music. They get hooked up into the false spirit behind it. But I still believe many are saved by it. Look at how I still believe that there's some people in the Catholic Church who are truly saved. They truly believe in the true Jesus Christ. I wouldn't say many, but there's a few. They're hooked up into that as well. They've been seduced by it, but that doesn't mean that they're not saved as well. So, the danger of it, though, is you start taking not only secular people and pushing them further away from Jesus, but you start taking Christians and leading them down very, very bad paths, going in the wrong direction, which will then have an effect on leading other people away from Christ as well. And in the case of what happened with the politics and stuff like that, I think many people were led the wrong way. I believe many people were led because we had pastors out there. I've said it once, I'll say it again, like Jack Hibbs, when he was on Brandon Holthouse podcast, he sat there and he blatantly said that if you bury your talent or you don't vote, is what he was meaning in context, then Christ will say, "Depart from me, you wicked servant." He made a heretical statement. He altered the gospel of Jesus, saying that if you don't vote, that you have sinned and that you don't have salvation. That is completely heretical. He needs to come out and publicly retract and repent of that statement. I believe Brandon Holthouse needs to do the same thing. And it's that seducing mystery religion of statements like that that will lead people the wrong direction. And so I believe that's exactly what is happening right now. That's exactly what is happening right now. So, but yeah, just because we're all seduced in some type of way with something. But that doesn't mean that we're not all saved. It's faith in Jesus Christ alone that saves. So just keep that in mind. Let's see here. Fabro family, is the deceived part of God's Greta delusion? Oh, I think you mean great delusion. I don't think we're at the time of the great delusion right now, but we're seeing foreshadows and stepping stones towards it. So I think it's part of it. Let's see, a couple more questions. What we got going on here? Jeffrey Crone, question: doesn't the fact that God selected Trump to do what he is doing encourage us that we are getting closer to leaving this world? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that we bury our head in the sand and make excuses for what he's doing to be deceived at the same time. That's the point that I've been trying to make with all this. Everybody says, what, you'd rather have Kamala? I really wouldn't. But at the same time, I'm sick of all the people that would absolutely crucify and burn Biden at the stake for what he's doing. But even though Trump is doing the exact same thing, we're writing it off as an excuse and just saying that it's A-okay. No, what Trump is doing is indeed speeding us closer towards the end times. Of course, it's all according to God's plan. God raised up Trump. God raised up Biden. God raised up Bush. God raised up Obama. God raised up all these people for these certain times like that. But that's no excuse to bury our heads into the sand and make excuses for a man that is doing it. If Biden was doing just a fraction of what Trump is doing right now, all the prophecy teachers would be absolutely destroying him. absolutely destroying him. But because it's Trump, they're giving it excuses. That's deception. That is deception. And that is wrong. So yes, we should be encouraged that we're getting closer because of what Trump's doing, but we should not bury our head in the sands because of it. Let's see here. Let's see. Question, I saw the broadcast with Jack Hibbs, but don't remember him saying that. Show the clip, please. If you go to Tip of the Spear on YouTube, go all the way down to the bottom when he had Jack Hibbs on, go towards the end, you will see that exact quote from Jack Hibbs. So it's right there if you would like to find it. I just told you exactly where to find it. Go towards the last part of the channel, and then go to the last part of the interview, and you will see it right there. Let's see here. Richard Ropiak questions, does anybody realize Trump is a pro wrestling fan? Maybe explaining his intelligible madness. It's that whole WWE thing that provides that he's such a good actor, man. And, you know, a lot of people ask me still about the assassination. Well, you know, they tried to assassinate him. So who tried to assassinate him? You guys ever see WWE and their blood packs? It's identical to what he had on his ear. And keep in mind, he made many appearances with the WWE. He knows all about it. Seichner's question, is Donald Trump pro-gun? No, he is not. He's for red flag laws. He did the bump stock ban. He wants to take the guns away before due process. He's really not pro-gun. A couple more. Terry Kissamore. Question, I like Melissa Doherty and her views against New Thought. What is your opinion on her views? Absolutely don't get any eschatology, theology, or doctrine from her. I understand she calls out the New Age and the New Thought. She does good research on that, but don't get any biblical doctrine from her. No good. Last but not least, Peanut Gallery. So we meet again. Here we go. Let's see. If tin whistles are made out of tin, what do they make foghorns out of? They make foghorns out of leghorns. Yep. Tin whistles are made out of tin, but foghorns are made out of leghorns. I say, I'm a rooster. Nice try. All right, guys. That's all we got. We are done for tonight. So thank you guys for joining me. I can't believe, man, I didn't think it was going to be this long of an episode, but it was. But thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for being here with me and whatnot. So, yeah, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe. Get this out to as many people as you can. Not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning at the people and getting people to Jesus. You know, this is why we do this thing. This is the whole reason why we do this. I know a lot of people, they look at me and I'm just an angry, bitter person that doesn't like anybody and whatnot. That's not my goal. My goal is to be the bridge and to stand and say things that need to be said. Honestly, you know, we're in this time now where the church is weak. It's bending. It makes excuses and whatnot. And I think we just need some strong people that will say what needs to be said. I know a lot of people don't like me because of that. That's fine. But my goal has always been and will continue to be to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, to try and be a bridge from the people looking for truth and giving them the truth that is Jesus Christ. So if you guys can do me a solid and like, share, subscribe, it does help reach those people. And I certainly appreciate it. Also, make sure you guys follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Those are my backup channels. If I get booted off YouTube, we'll be back and live streaming over on Rumble. So make sure you guys follow me there. Rumble's kind of the backup. And then you got Odyssey's the backup to the backup. And then Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything in between. I just kind of throw some stuff up there as we go about the week and all that. Stay up to date on new videos and links and all that type of stuff. So good things. Also, the website. Yes, the website, WretchedWatchmen.com. That's your one-stop shop if you want to know what's going on. You want the lowdown. You want the haps. You want to stay in the loop. I don't know. What's the language now for... I don't know. I don't know the lingo. I'm old now. I don't know what all the kids are saying. But either way, if you want to know what's going on, that's the place to go. So make sure you guys bookmark the website. And then last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel, I got donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. This channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads, views, anything or anything like that. It runs solely off of your guys' generous donations. So if you guys would like to help keep this going and allow me to do what I'm doing, and those links are below. Thank you guys for just being just awesome. You guys are so good, and I appreciate you guys. So thank you guys for your support, your donations, your prayers, your encouragement, everything like that. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys. Hopefully y'all had a good time. Thanks for being here. And yeah, the Lord does not come back by Tuesday, same time, same place. But before then, get your wretched, heathenic, misfit booties to church tomorrow, whether online or in person. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you guys get there tomorrow. And again, if the Lord does not come back by Tuesday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back here. All right. If I can find it, the outro. There it is. All right. Bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.